Hey, it is Rebecca. We are gonna do some trail side what's in my pack. So I just finished a mountain bike ride. Let's see. And go ahead and show you everything that I took on my ride today. I was out on my Live Peak 29 and I have named that bike the Peak Panther because it's stealth, it's fast, pretty great. I'm also out with the new Edge 1030 Plus, using this bad boy for really just the third time, and it's pretty great. So where I live in Idaho, there are not a lot of people on the trail. There is very little cell phone coverage where I go, and so I just was out for 2.5 hours, but I still need to be pretty self-sufficient. And there's a lot to be said for being self-sufficient on the trail. Even if it's your home trail, it's somewhere that you've been a long time, you've ridden there a ton. More and more right now, people are riding alone and getting out there a little bit more and exploring their own backyard. So it's super good to be prepared. So I usually have my pack kind of ready to go so that I don't have to do a lot to get ready. But here's what's in my standard mountain bike pack for a 2-3 hour ride. So I've got a navigation device for sure, so I know where I'm going. I also have another device that I really like, the Garmin InReach Mini. So this thing is a little satellite tracking device and satellite communication device. So I'm in a lot of places where there is no cell phone, no coverage, and I can communicate out through this little thing. And so you pair it to your phone with the EarthMate app, and it's really awesome because the EarthMate app is also really great navigation. So I really like having the Edge 1030 Plus, but I also like having navigation on my phone so that I can really zoom in and look at that, and that's the EarthMate app that goes with the Garmin InReach Mini. So that's my little safety system there, so I know where I'm going. In my pack, I've got 100 ounces of water. I have a water bottle on my bike that has double strength, two servings of Roctane, which is calories, branched chain amino acids, electrolytes. So I've got a lot of calories in there. I've got fluid in my hydration pack. What else is in here? I've got the new standard item that we all should bring with us now is a face covering, also neck buff. It goes really well for if it's cold out, you can use it under your helmet as a hat, a layer. I use it a lot of times around my arm as a little nose rag, and I have used these as toilet paper in sort of dire circumstances. So this is a really handy piece of thing to have and pretty essential right now for a mouth covering if needed. Got a trusty GoPro because if you didn't film it, you didn't do it. And then this is my snack bag. I like to keep my snacks kind of in the outside or right in these side pockets so that I can reach them while I'm riding. And what I've got today, few hour ride, I've got a lot of food, plenty of food. I've got 3 GU energy gels, and then my faves are the GU Chews. And I really like the blueberry pomegranate, is my favorite flavor. It's got double electrolytes as well in that one for hot days. So that's my little snack pile. I usually plan my rides, about 200 calories per hour. So I'll just look through my pack, be like, okay, great, I'm going out a few hours. I've got at least a few items of food and snacks. Nothing worse than the dreaded bonk. So what else do I have in here? I have open it up. All right, I have a mountain bike tube for flat tire changing kit. I have a shock pump. I have a mini pump. And you may think, I'm not gonna need to adjust my shock out, on a ride, but if you do need to, it's a real bummer if you don't have one. And these are easy, they just stay in my pack all the time. I also have my little toolkit. So this is a tool roll. I love this because I can put all the little teeny weeny bits and pieces all rolled up into this tool roll. So, and this is just kind of stays. I have one for my mountain bike and one for my gravel bike, and they really don't leave, so that I don't have to wonder if I have everything that I need. So I've got CO2 cartridges and head, tire levers to take a tire off if needed. I've got a quick link that is for the size of my Eagle chain. So if I break a chain, I've got a link here. Super important to always have one of those. And most of these things are so light, it's not a big deal, you know. I've got some electrical tape. I've got some valve stems if needed. I've got a chain breaker. I have a few extra bolts. I've got like water bottle cage bolts, valve core, one of these guys, if you've ever had one of those come out, that's kind of a pain. I have a valve core remover as well if needed. And I have I really like this thing from Envy. This is pretty important. It's actually a valve extender because the size of the stem on these tubes don't always match. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I went to go put this tube in and the valve stem was not long enough for my rims, then you can't put any air in it. So I always like to have one of these extenders, so that if you end up bringing a tube, or your friend has a tube, or that doesn't quite have a long enough stem, you can put the extender on and you can still put a tube in if needed. So I wrap one of those up. I always have one in my toolkit, but then I always wrap one up with the tube as well, just so we have it there. I keep the tube in a plastic bag so that it doesn't get all messed up when it's in my pack. And yeah, I've got this identical kit for gravel and for mountain. Really the main difference is the tube size. So that goes in there. Also in my goodie bag in here, my little toolkit, I have a set of extra pedal cleats. And that might sound really weird, but this is a deal breaker. And so on really long rides, I always just kind of have it because it's one of those things. If your cleat falls out of your shoe, it's a bummer not to be able to clip in. I have an extra set of brake pads, just one set. If I were doing a big long expedition ride, I'd probably take two. Again, they're really lightweight, it's no big deal. I have a tool. I have one extra battery for my SRAM axis shifting. And you know, I was really hesitant to go with SRAM axis because it was just another thing to remember to charge and have to, you know, I worried about the batteries running out, but honestly, I've never had a battery run out. I've always got a spare one in there. I've started rides where the battery says it's on red and it's low, and I've gone and done a 4-hour ride and it's still working just fine. So I was scared to try electronic shifting, but I've been so happy with it and stoked with it. But I always have one battery in my toolkit now, just in case. So that is the little toolkit, tool roll. Also in here, I have a medical kit. And I also have a really light windbreaker that's just always there. And I live in the mountains, you know, it's summer, it's 80 degrees right now, but you just never know. You're gonna get caught by a storm. So I always have this really nice, super light jacket from Velocio in there. And that's it. That is my, you know, pretty long ride day pack with everything that I need. All fits in there. And the key when I pack my pack, I really think about being self-sufficient for, even if I'm out for 1 hour or 5 hours. I think, you know, if something happened, could I take care of myself? If my bike breaks, I have minor mechanical. If I get lost, can I communicate back home? If something really bad happens and I hurt myself, can I communicate and call for help? And do I have enough food and snacks to keep my body running? So those are kind of the things I think about to be self-sufficient. And it's not that big of a pack. It's not that big of a deal to have all those things ready to go, so that you can rock your ride and not worry about getting lost, going hungry, or anything else. So that is what's in my pack. I think it's time to go riding now. Have a great ride, everybody. Be good.